Hello, and welcome to episode 680 of Prog Review. Oh no. And today, Miniatures is it by Morgan Fisher? No, it's edited by Morgan Fisher, but he's kind of credited to him because it's his idea and his concept. This was, blimey, it was, when was it out? 1981, I think it was. This is a 1994 reissue on CD on the now defunct Voice Print label. There we go. And the idea of it is it's a sequence of 51 tiny masterpieces. The idea was back in day, you know, to give everyone a minute. Got a minute of time on the album because, you know, if it's a vinyl album, you know, 51, 52 minutes is the ideal length, you know, or maximum length a vinyl could run. So that was the concept. Give everyone a minute, single 60 seconds to do their thing. And there's many different artists on here. We have Robert Fripp on here, Robert Wyatt, Roger McGough, The Residents, Ollie Owsall. I'm reading Andy Thunderclap Newman, David Bedford, Fred Frith, Neil Innes, Lowell Coxill, Steve Miller. I don't know if it's that Steve Miller. Norman Lovett, George Melly, Andy Partridge. I'm going through, just rushing through some of them. Ron Geesin, Quentin Crisp, Ralph Steadman, the guy that did the artwork, very famous caricaturist, did the art. He's on here as doing music as well, and his one's quite interesting actually. Ivor Cutler, Hector Zazu, Dave Vanian, Gavin Bryars, Michael Nyman, I think the Penguin Cafe, or at least Simon Jeffs is on here as well. So yeah, a multitude of artists, everyone different, everyone, you know, it's a little bit left field. It is a little bit odd. But it's one of those records and compilations. When I first heard it, and again, it was a long time ago. I don't know when I came across this. I don't know if I just saw it on the shelf or if I'd heard about it before. Because remember, it was 1994, and I think I got it around the time it came out because it looks suitably bashed up. You know, you see the scratches on the back of the CD there. You know, so I'm trying to remember how I came across this. It might have been just because I saw Robert Fripp's name on it, but I don't think it was. I think it's more to it than that. But God, it was a long time ago. It was a long time ago, and I'm expected to remember this stuff. But I find this quite marvellous. It doesn't always work. Again, some of it does just disappear up its own, you know, fundament. But you know, there is. It's just like something just whizzing by. You know, it comes in, you get used to it, and then it's gone again. It's one of those things. It's a really curious concept, and I'm surprised this hasn't been replicated and done again. Well, it does. There is a volume 2. But we're going to do that again. We're going to do that. Maybe in the next. There might be another video coming on after this, and I'll talk about the next volume. But yeah, there's so much on here, and it's all done with a wry smile. For example, Robert Fripp's track, he's on keyboard, and it sounds something very reminiscent of what would appear on the League of Gentlemen album around the same period of time. So yeah, I'm trying to think of what standout tracks there are, because again, they whiz past so fast. I mean, Fred Frith's the entire works of Henry Cow is a joy to behold, because it gets it out of the way quickly. You know, it doesn't hang around. It's only a minute. Yeah, I mean, crikey, there is just so much on here. Neil Innes and his son doing "Come On, Feel the Noise." That just explains the kind of humour that's involved. Again, same with Norman Lovett doing his impression of John Peel, which is great fun. Andy Partridge doing the history of rock and roll. He does the history of rock and roll in a minute, which was hilarious. You know, so it it is a unique proposition. Some may say it was a gimmick. I don't know. I don't think it is a gimmick. I think it's more of a snapshot of a time. And this will come back when I talk about the next one, because I do think it is very much a snapshot of the artists of the time, of the culture, of the humour. You know, it's very much. I mean, even the Phantom Captain, they were like a, I guess you could call them a theatrical troupe. Do a little minute improvisational breather to end side one. Though there is no side one because it's CD, but it would have been on the LP, which is very, very of the time. And that's what you get the feel of it. It is very much of the moment, and that's what makes it interesting. You know, because it's, and there's lots of ideas on here, lots of there's experimental stuff. You know, there's stuff that's a bit more planned, like the Simon Jeff's Arthur's Treat track, which is a lovely little song for his son Arthur, which is cool, very cool. So yeah, I mean, it's a collection that's entranced me. I don't imagine it will interest many of you out there, because let's face it, it's not your thing, is it? This is not why you're here. But I find it fascinating. I find it's a really good collection, a really good concept. It was reissued as a double header a few years back, if I recall. I think you can still get that on Amazon. I'll put a linky in the doodad, and hopefully that will inspire you to stick around for the next video. Yes, there is a next video, because I do think that, you know, if you like experimental music, you know, like I say, something that's a little bit more left field, and you might be a fan of one of these people, you know, like, I don't know, Robert Wyatt or whatnot, it might draw you in. But it is very much that kind of almost anarchic. I hate to use the word anarchic, but, you know, because alternative comedy, that kind of thing, it feeds in from that. That's what I get. That's the feeling I get from it. It is deliberately subverting your expectation. It is deliberately anarchic, because that was the time. You know, it was the 80s, the early 80s, a time of, you know, political upheaval, imminent nuclear threat, and this is where it's at, and it's all there for you. It's all there for you. So if you haven't come across Miniatures Volume 1, curated by Morgan Fisher, do check it out. It is still available. I think you can even get it on vinyl. Wow. But yeah, I do think it's worth a listen if you like something that's a bit more challenging, a bit more far out, because it really is. It's like 1 minute you'll be into something, the next minute something comes along and you go, oh, what's that? And then next minute, oh, you know, it's a real roller coaster of styles and emotion. And like I say, I just think it's crazy bonkers in a good way, and truly progressive. But not in the progressive that many of you watching this will want it to be. It's progressive in the fact that it's harder to do a very small, tiny thing well than doing a long, sprawling thing indifferently. You know, it's a lot easier to do a 20-minute epic than it is to do something in a minute. Trust me. So yeah, that's what we should be aiming for. Small, perfectly crafted songs. So that's it. My name's been Darren Lock. I've been talking about Miniatures Volume 1. Hang around, because number 2 will be along in a minute. Do check it out. It is quite marvellous. I do believe that once you hear this, you will become quite entranced by it, like a small puzzle to be unpicked and unfigured, you know, and figured out. That's it. Anyway, hopefully, was it Garrett Munton enjoys this review, because he's been asking me to do this for a long time. My name's been Darren Lock. Thank you for watching. There's only one more thing to say, and that is 10 million views. 10 million views. I've got 10 million views. Ha ha. You haven't. And with that, prog on.